I tried to build a Shopify page speed tool with OpenClaw, and the result was not what I expected. This video could save you a lot of time if you plan on using OpenClaw or similar tools, so if you want to see realistic results, keep on watching. About a week ago, I was watching Matt Wolf install OpenClaw, or Clawbot as it was originally called, and it looked awesome. I mean, Clawbot was everywhere at that point. Everyone was buying Mac Minis to set the thing up and to program it to run all sorts of cool things. In case you had better things to do and you still don't know what OpenClaw/Clawbot is, essentially it's an AI agent that you can give access to your computer and it can actually start using that computer for you. For example, I can install it on my laptop and tell it to visit a news website every day at 9 a.m., grab the top headlines and send them to me over Slack or WhatsApp so I can read them during my commute. And in theory, there's no limit. It can scrape the web for information, it can run applications, and even code on its own while you're just prompting it from afar. It's like having an employee that does things for you 24/7. It needs access to a device and you also need to connect it to an AI model. I use GPT-5, but it can run on many other models too, depending on what you plan to do with it. Then you connect it to a chat like Slack or WhatsApp and send it instructions. It creates a plan to achieve what you asked and actually executes it on that device. At least that's what people report. And they are treating OpenClaw as an employee. They claim that their Clawbot has made them money, that it trades stocks for them, they use it as an emotional support bot and all sorts of other things. Seeing this, I immediately thought of a big problem every Shopify store owner has: store loading speed. On every Shopify store's dashboard, you have the speed area where you can monitor changes, but for a lot of people, that dashboard looks like a foreign language. So I thought I'll have a chatbot monitor the speed of my store and send me a notification every morning with the speed changes and potential advice to improve performance. So I followed Matt's tutorial on how to install Clawbot on a free Amazon VPS. OpenClaw, like any other AI, is unpredictable, and because it's also new, it seems like it has a lot of vulnerabilities. It seemed very unwise to give it access to my actual laptop. First, I signed up for the Amazon free VPS. You only get this once per person, so if you've used this before, you might not qualify. Once inside the account, I looked for EC2. On this page, I clicked on Launch New Instance, named my instance and chose Ubuntu. Then scroll down to instance type, search for free, and then scroll to the version with 8 GB of memory. Then I scrolled down and chose a login key. You can create one by clicking there. And once all of that was done, I went and launched the instance. On the instance dashboard, I clicked on connect and then I saw the console where I could actually give instructions. Then just went to OpenClaw's website and copied the only line of code you need. I've added that inside the console, pressed enter, and the installation started. Once done, it asked me a couple of questions. I accepted the risks, selected quick start, and then selected the AI model company, in my case OpenAI. I was prompted to add my OpenAI API key. Because ChatGPT advised me to use GPT-5 Mini, I went with that first, but then I changed it later with just GPT-5. Then I chose my messaging platform to be Slack. I followed the Slack connection indications there. I just went to Docs and Slack, copied the entire JSON manifest and then pasted it inside Slack, and after saving, all the permissions were granted. Then I entered my Slack bot token and my Slack app token, and then I was done. I was asked about if I want to install any skills on my Clawbot. I said yes, but because I didn't need any of this, I skipped their installation. I didn't add any Google APIs at this stage and only enable the hooks. Then I was asked to hatch the TUI, that stands for text-based interface, and I did. Then I saw this window and I could talk to my Clawbot here. I tried to have the bot DM me first, but for some reason it couldn't. But when I tagged it in a message, it responded back saying that the connection was made. It definitely remembered I mentioned Shopify speed in the TUI, but again, not sure why it couldn't DM me. I then said, I just wrote you on Slack and you replied. And I asked it again, can you send me another message? It replied with, who should I send it to? What exact message do you want me to send? And what send method should I use? Here I began to have doubts about its abilities, but went ahead anyway. I said reply to me in the same text box. and it asked me to confirm if I wanted to send me this text. Yeah, not that smart so far. I confirmed and it still couldn't send me a message. It said it couldn't find the user named Cristian. At this point I decided to change the model from GPT-5 mini into GPT-5, thinking that this might be the reason. I ran OpenClaw onboarding and went again through all the steps, choosing the same things, only to change the OpenAI model to GPT-5. And at the end I ran OpenClaw models and it confirmed that now I'm using GPT-5. Using ChatGPT, I described the Shopify speed monitoring system I had in mind, and it gave me a prompt for me to paste inside OpenClaw. I made sure to mention that if anything fails, it should report back and not just fail silently. The agent confirmed the plan. I wanted it to test the loading speed of 3 pages on my Shopify store: the homepage, the product page, and a collection page. It should run 3 tests per page, calculate the average scores, and give me a final result. Then it should repeat this every day before 9 AM and send me the results at 9. It then asked me to paste the URL of the page I wanted it to test and my time zone so it would know when to send that message. I assumed it could pull the time from Slack, but it couldn't, so I just gave it all the details inside the chat. Then it sent me a summary of what I was going to build. Since there was no visual dashboard, I asked it to send me updates while it was working. It proposed a few milestones where it would update me. Then it said everything was ready and it would take a couple of minutes to give me the first results. 2 to 4 minutes. But after 5 minutes I still had no update, so I asked how was it going. It turns out that it was already having a problem. I had asked it not to fail silently, but it didn't send me any updates. So since I had no visual feedback, I asked it to send me a status update every minute, and it agreed, sending me the first one right there. But after 4 minutes, no more updates. When I asked about it, it said, sorry, I had issues and will update you in 60 seconds. But after other 4 minutes, again, no update. Asked again what's the status, it said it fixed some things and a summary is due in 2 to 3 minutes. Plus it said it will keep updating me every minute, but so far I never got an update. It then continued to promise updates, but they never actually came if I didn't ask for them. It had no errors, but somehow it never got to update me or send me any progress or results. I thought that it cannot DM me, but it said it can and it will from now on. The reason it didn't message me is because it didn't code the mechanism to DM me yet, which I thought, yeah, it makes sense now. Then I said, okay, let's stop the minute by minute messages because that clearly doesn't work. I'll just ask for updates myself, and it confirmed. So far I was feeling exactly as if I had a very bad employee that maybe lies, but I don't know that for sure, so I decided to keep on going. After coming back to it from time to time, it kept on saying that it is building functionality, 55%. It listed what exactly it did and what comes next. Also the time frame increased from 2-3 minutes to 45 to 60 minutes. I said I would sign off for the night and it said it had everything it needs and it will update me at 9 AM. So far it spent $2.56 in OpenAI tokens, but till the morning it ate up a couple of more tokens, not much but still no real results. I've been prompting it for status now and then during the night and it always had updates about what it was working on, but no real results. So it was now 9:08 and after I asked it why it missed the delivery hour, it had a long list of issues, but it had a plan to fix them all. At this point, I kinda lost all my confidence. It basically misled me the whole time, telling me that it was building things when it could just as easily have been doing nothing in the background and just reassuring me it was working. In hindsight, I should have started with smaller scopes and smaller tests, but it never told me that there were any issues. Otherwise, I would have done that. At this point, it said that it was 70% to completion, but I had no real results yet. It said it needed 90 minutes more. I came so far, so why not wait 90 minutes more? 80% completed now, we're getting close. Or are we? After calling the bot out, it said that, surprise, surprise, it needed some more time. And after a bit of time it was at $4.02 and then almost $6, but no real result. I've asked one more time for the status and it said it still couldn't deliver any result, and then I decided to pull the plug. I'm not an AI specialist by any means, and OpenClaw is a very new tool, so a lot of things could have gone wrong here. What I take from this experience is the following. First, people hype these technologies a lot, either because they are selling something or because being early gets rewarded. Nowadays, if you cover something first, you win, even if it's not actually that good. Second, OpenClaw is a cool tool, but it's extremely early. You can experiment with it, but like most AI tools, it's not very reliable yet. I don't really believe the crazy claims some people make. If configured properly, it can probably do interesting things, but I think most success stories are isolated cases from very technical users who know exactly what they are doing. Third, if you're not very tech inclined, I wouldn't use it right now. It has a lot of rough edges and you need to know what you're doing most of the time. I definitely wouldn't trust it with my computer, my accounts, or my credit card. So this was my experience with OpenClaw. I'll keep on testing it in the future, but for now, that's my takeaway. If you found this video useful, do like, subscribe, and I think you'll want to see this video next. Click it and I'll see you there.